Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. So pleased to introduce to you my friend, if you have not met him before, he's been on the show previously, David Meine. He's the co-founder of Ideal Shape and also author of the new ebook, Diet Chaos, Lose Weight, Not Your Mind. Something that we can certainly all learn from. Welcome back to the show. How are you this morning, David?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for inviting me back, Chelsea.
Absolutely. This is such a valuable topic and one that we all need to hear a little bit more about when it comes to staying healthy. And you have some wonderful tools that can help us do that. As you can see right here, we'll discuss some of these products as well. But first off, your ebook. What is it about? Diet Chaos. What do you touch in this?
Well, the reason I wrote the Diet Chaos book was that I've worked with hundreds of thousands of people who are trying to change their body shape. They're trying to get healthy. And so people will come to me and say, I need your help. Can you help me with the brain part? And I'll say, okay, well, what are you doing right now? And they'll say, oh, I'm having a detox. I'm starting to run. I'm going to do my gym membership. I'm going to change what I'm going to eat. You know, and they just go through this whole list of things that they're going to do to change their body shape or to get more healthy. And the problem is, as a scientist, as a researcher, when we try to figure out a behavior and how we can change that behavior to a positive, what we do is we set up the experiment. So for example, I have people commit to 28 days that they're just going to have our shake for breakfast every single day. Has a hunger blocker, has 22 vitamins, has great proteins, has all this great stuff. So if they just do that for 28 days, they should be able to change their body shape or lose some weight or do whatever. If they get to the end of 28 days and nothing changes, in an experiment, that's called chaos, disorder, because what we originally thought was going to happen in the experiment when we project out 20 days doesn't happen. And so and what people don't understand is they never think about, why am I not happy with my body shape, not happy with my weight? What's the behavior? And so we don't understand that. So I wrote Diet Chaos thinking, I need to get people to think about their behaviors and get them to think about, I'm just going to change one thing for 28 days and see if I get some results from that. And once I make that a habit, then what I can do is start on another behavior.
And so you add the one, so month by month, you keep that one going, obviously.
Yeah, you keep that going.
That's the idea.
Because now it's a new habit. It's a new behavior. It's healthy.
And so is that kind of the magic number, 28? What makes that work?
Okay, in neuroscience, have you heard that term? It's the big thing right now is, you know, how do our brains work? And so most people know me as a personal motivational brain trainer. And so what I try to do is help people change their subconscious mind, because 20% of our brain power is conscious thought. See, like right now, you're listening to me and you're shaking your head, but you're not thinking about shaking your head. You're smiling now.
That's true.
Your heart's beating.
I'm self-conscious.
I know, but there's all these things that go unconsciously.
They just happen.
Exactly. So for example, the #1 behavior, besides kind of nutrition, for most people is that they don't get a good night's sleep. So you need to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night to be able to get your body to release the right hormones, to cut your appetite. There's all these things that happen when we sleep. Well, the challenge is most people have trained their brains not to sleep 7 to 8 hours a day. And people don't realize that, and it happens maybe when we're little kids, or there's, you know, for women, it may be they've had a baby and the baby stays up all night, and, you know, all these things. And so, for example, I had this woman, Courtney, and when she came to me, she was way overweight, and she says, can you help me lose weight? And I said, yes. And I was looking at her, and she had a lot of fat on her upper stomach. And immediately when I see that, I know that people can't deal with stress. Because what happens is the behavior, since they're not sleeping well, they've got a lot of stress, and what happens is that cortisol that gets released builds this fat on the stomach, because it's the fastest place to get energy in that fight or flight. You know, we get all upset and we got all that energy. And so one of the things that I get people to do after they get, you know, something healthy going for 28 days is I say, okay, let's look at sleep. Or the top 3 of my 10 behaviors I've researched is people don't sleep, they don't drink enough water to hydrate their brain, and they have all these sabotaging thoughts in their head. you know, from what their parents have said, their peers have said, or whatever they've said. So how do you change that behavior?
Yeah.
And so it takes 28 days. The research shows that we've got to train this subconscious mind, just like an athlete. If you want to learn to have this amazing tennis stroke, you have to do it over and over and over so that when the ball comes in a match, you don't think about it. Your body's already doing all the work because you're watching to see what they're doing. And it's the same thing in losing weight.
I love that you bring that up because, I mean, I played tennis and I never thought that I was going to have my serve down in one day. But for some reason, when it comes to dieting, we think we can lose a large amount or make those changes quickly, simply, and very easily. But it's not. I think we're kind of unfair with ourselves when it comes to our bodies. We really are.
We're so hard on ourselves. And, you know, that's why I work on a behavior. Like this woman took 5 months to change her sleeping. And guess what happened at the end of 5 months?
What?
She dropped 50 pounds.
That's
over a couple of
incredible.
months because we got her sleep. That was the behavior that was holding her back. And so now it's been a year later. She still sleeps 7 to 8 hours a day. She was using Ambien before and only getting 2 hours of sleep. So that's why she was overweight.
That's amazing that can happen. And it's very simple after you realize what you need to fix it. And it takes a lot of patience, I would think, in terms like every 28 days, change these little things because often, you know, we gain weight slowly. We also lose it slowly, and it takes time to change those habits. And in regards to that, and with your book, you discuss the top 10 negative behaviors that cause weight gain. We've touched on that a little bit. Give us a little bit more idea of what we can expect from your ebook.
So what I do is I get people to understand that I can help them retrain their brain when they go to sleep. So I've created a CD series where all they have to do is put on a track to change sleep, or to change sabotage, or to change that we don't drink enough water. There's all these behaviors, and what I do is I get them to listen to that every night when they go to bed for 28 days. And so that's working on that unconscious mind, getting it to accept. I think last time we talked about homeostasis in a cell.
I think
do you
so,
remember that? And what's interesting is homeostasis, we don't want to change. The cell doesn't want to change. So when we think about losing weight, our unconscious mind says, hey, wait a second, you've trained me all these years to be 20 pounds overweight or 50 pounds or 100 pounds overweight. Wait a minute, you don't really want me to change. And so you've got to get the subconscious mind or the unconscious mind to convince it in 28 days, here's the new behavior that I want to be healthy, to lose weight, whatever it is. And so the magic number of 28 days, that's when the brain finally says, okay, I believe you that you really want to change this behavior. And now the new behavior is, I'm going to do these things and I'm going to get to this body shape, and I'm never going to change that unless we retrain the brain for a negative behavior.
Very good. So what is your biggest hope for people when they read this and of course utilize your other products? Because this is really one piece of the whole that can really help you get to where you want to go. What is your hope for those who utilize this?
My hope is that people will learn that they can rechange their brain, that they can change, and change becomes easier when we have a little bit of success. So when people do our shake for breakfast every morning, or they do a bar for snack with this hunger blocker and all these this fiber and everything, if they get at the end of 28 days and all of a sudden they've lost 3, 4, 5, 10 pounds. And then they go, you know what, now I'm ready, let's go attack another behavior. Of these 10 behaviors, what's my worst one? And then they work on that, and then all of a sudden the weight's coming off. And the main #1 goal at the end of all this, the reason I'm so passionate about this, and I've done this for 10 years, is I want people to get to their ideal body shape and then keep it for the rest of their life. And the only way you can do that is change behavior.
Absolutely. That's something that we often forget. We need people like you to remind us of that. And so we've talked a little bit about all your things that you have here. I want to go a little bit more into the bars, and of course this book. We mentioned this last time. So how is this different, or how does this connect to and latch on to this?
Okay. What I realized is when I wrote that book, I put 2 words. I said diet and chaos. And I talked about it in that book. And as I worked with people, we just did a study where we had, we hired a group to come in and study the diet chaos. So we had people read this, because they can read this in about a half hour, 45 minutes. And then we had them read the Think book. And then we had them pick a behavior that they would work on for 28 days. And then give us back feedback from those people, that group. And the thing that was so interesting is people came back and said, I had no clue I had all this unconscious behavior that I had trained all my life. And it may have happened when our parents made a comment about our bodies, or a significant other, or we're a teacher in school, made a really bad comment. For example, this one girl I worked with, or woman, excuse me, when she was in high school and college, she was volleyball. She was 6'1", 160 pounds, this amazing athlete, amazing body. She was sitting at the table eating, and her grandmother would say every night to her mom, watch that one. She eats a lot and she's going to be really fat. So guess what happened? She ended up 150 pounds overweight because of that negativity, and grandma thinks I'm going to be fat and whatever. And so how do you change that? How do you get that positive thing going again? And so that's what all of this does. The bars are awesome because a lot of people, they don't keep their glucose level all day, so they'll get up, they don't have a good breakfast. And so what I did is I designed these so they're quick.
And they're tasty. I've had these actually, so they're quite good. And you have a couple different flavors here too, but these work great.
Yeah, we have this double chocolate. Somebody loves double dark chocolate.
Double chocolate.
My favorite is the cinnamon. It's like a cinnamon bun.
Oh, is that a new flavor?
Yeah, it's a brand new. It's very healthy.
Ooh.
It tastes good, and 140 calories. But the thing is the hunger blocker and the fiber, because that's what people struggle with when they first start trying to change their body shape and cut their calories down. They're always hungry, and so this knocks out your hunger for 3 to 4 hours.
Nice.
It has a patented hunger blocker.
And we can get all these online, right?
Absolutely.
Very cool. And how can we get your ebook?
This is free. So if you go to dietchaos.com, you can get the book for free. If you don't like to read a PDF, I've put it on the Amazon Kindle. It's on the Barnes & Noble Nook. You can get it on iTunes for the iBooks, and it's only 99 cents. Wonderful. This is not about making money. This is about educating people on how they can recognize what's going wrong, and then I can help them step by step. And our company, Ideal Shape, because we have this amazing team, and the key is I want to help people change their body shape, but sustain it for the rest of their life.
Wonderful. I love your whole concept and approach to this, and I realize we have about 2 minutes extra time. Okay, we're coming into the holiday season, and the biggest months of candy, carbs, just food overload just out the window. I mean, a lot of people throw out a lot of their diet habits that they develop. Sometimes really just go out the door when these next couple of months arrive. If you could give us 1 or 2 tips, and I know it may be difficult to cover all in just those 2 things, but what would you say to us out there to help us stay on track for these next couple of months?
I think the first thing I would do is get people to read this first, because it doesn't cost anything.
So get the knowledge.
So get the knowledge and think about what is a different behavior I could have during the holidays. For example, one of the behaviors is I try to get people to eat till satisfied, not full. So at Thanksgiving, the holidays, what do? Instead of just having one plate and just enjoying the food, enjoying the texture, the smell, just that whole experience, what do? We eat that plate, we get another plate, we get 16 desserts, and then we're miserable. And then what happens is all of a sudden we're beating ourselves up. Look, I cannot keep the weight off, I'm useless, and we start hitting, sabotaging ourselves, and our self-esteem and self-confidence goes down. And so by reading this and kind of thinking about this, one thing you could do is, for Thanksgiving, is just have one plate of food and enjoy it. Have a dessert, enjoy it, eat slowly, talk, enjoy it. And it's not about the food, the quantity. What it's about is enjoying it. Like people come to me
the experience,
and they'll say, well, I go to a friend's house and there's a pan of cookies and I smell it when I walk in. My friend knows I'm on a diet and says, hey, look, here's a fresh cookie. And what do? We have the cookie, and then we think it's over because of our training in our mind. And then what we do is we get discouraged and say, okay, let's just eat the whole pan. So you and your friend eat 6 cookies, and then what happens when you walk out the door? I'm a loser, I'm never going to lose the weight, all this negative stuff. So the thing is change the behavior and have one cookie, enjoy it, and then leave and go, see, I have self-control.
I like it. I think that could work really well, and it's an easy tip for all of us. You can still enjoy it, have those foods that you like, but eat until you're hungry, not until you're full, or
Right,
until you're not hungry.
satisfied.
Eat until you're satisfied. That's right. Well, thank you so much, David. As usual, it's been a pleasure to have you here on the show.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for your time. I look forward to talking with you again.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Remember, you can go online of your website one more time.
You can go and get the book at dietchaos.com, or you can go to Ideal Shape, and we have the book there and all these wonderful products.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back after this quick break. Don't go away.